fireworks display in Orange County. Family and friends mourning the loss of an 8-year-old who died after fireworks exploded near her.
Good morning. I'm Erin Myers. The death toll continues to rise in Texas after catastrophic flooding hit the central part of the state on the 4th of July. Rescuers are still searching for many who remain missing, including several children.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer McGraw, live here in Altadena, where fire victims are coming together 6 months since the devastating Eaton fire ravaged their city. They want help. I'll explain coming up.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Holmes. If you have AC, you're going to want to make sure it is in tip-top shape. That's because triple-digit temperatures are in the forecast. Tell you just how hot it'll get.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning. I'm Melvin Robert. Coming up, director John M. Chu returns with a brand new film, and I'm just going to say it's pretty hot. That plus your entertainment headlines. See you in a bit.
Interesting weather over the next couple of days. Skies already starting to clear from the Mount Wilson camera. It's starting to get a little brighter, too, on the camera we had at Surf and Sand Hotel. Coastal today, 72. Mostly sunny after this morning, 82 downtown. San Fernando Valley, sunshine, hot, 93, but it's going to get hotter. High Desert, 97, 96 Inland Empire. Orange County Inland going up to a high of 83 degrees. All right, back to you, Frank. Breaking news now out of Central Texas. The death toll from this weekend's devastating flooding has risen. Officials now confirming at least 89 people are dead. Dozens more are still missing. KTLA's Erin Myers live in the newsroom with the very latest. Erin, good morning.
Rescuers are urgently looking for survivors while dealing with difficult conditions, including fluctuating water levels and debris. This as the death toll continues to rise. Many of those killed are children who attended an all-girls camp. This video was captured as some were evacuated from that camp, Camp Mystic, as they saw the devastation.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Local, state, and federal resources are being utilized along with volunteers who are still looking for dozens of missing people. Crews are searching by land and air and have rescued hundreds, many by helicopter. This after torrential rain led to catastrophic flooding in central Texas early Friday morning. Among the missing, 10 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic, an all-girls summer camp along the Guadalupe River. Camp Mystic posting on their website that they lost 27 campers and counselors, saying they are deeply grateful for the outpouring of support from the community, first responders, and officials. During the peak of the flooding, the river rose more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours. The hardest hit area, Kerr County, where Camp Mystic resides. The president has signed a major disaster declaration for that area, activating FEMA. Officials spoke this morning about why evacuations weren't ordered ahead of time.
Well, evacuation is a delicate balance, because if you evacuate too late, you then risk putting buses, or cars or vehicles or campers on roads into low water areas trying to get them out, which then can make it even more challenging because these flash floods happen very quickly.
And now many are picking up the pieces. This video from a home in Hunt, Texas. Those who live in the area saying this was the highest they had seen the water in that valley. A couple in their 80s were able to escape the rising waters and save their 92-year-old neighbor. The couple's son spoke about their ordeal.
They were able to reach their tool shed up higher ground, and neighbors throughout the early morning began to show up at their tool shed, and they all rode it out together.
And questions have been raised about the National Weather Service. The New York Times saying positions at local offices were not filled and that under the Trump administration, the number of employees in the Weather Service has been reduced. The organization has released a timeline of their alerts, forecasting the threat of flooding Thursday morning. The emergency alert system was triggered very early Friday morning. Several critical alerts followed, including a flash flood emergency warning for Kerr County around 4 a.m. About an After that, the river overflowed. President Trump has said the cuts to the National Weather Service did not play a role in what happened. Senator Ted Cruz saying the same thing this morning.
If you look at the facts in particular, number one, that these warnings went out hours before the flood became a true emergency level. But number two, the National Weather Service here, New Braunfels is where they were headquartered. They had additional manpower. In fact, they had 3 additional people working that night, anticipating that it was going to be a very dangerous weather situation.
At this time, President Trump has said there are no plans to hire back meteorologists that recently left the National Weather Service. He has not yet visited the flooded areas, but says he may head to Texas on Friday. Here in the newsroom, I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you both in the studio.
Erin, thank you. The Trump administration is pledging its support in the wake of the deadly flooding in Texas. President Trump says he will visit the state later this week. KTLA's Trevor Shirley live in Washington with more on that. Trevor, good morning.
Frank, good morning. President Trump says he'll likely visit Texas this coming Friday, as he also continues to say that he doesn't believe recent DOGE cuts at the National Weather Service impacted forecasting ahead of these floods.
More than 80 people are confirmed dead, with dozens, including young children from a summer camp, still missing, according to Texas state officials.
It's a horrible thing that took place. Absolutely horrible.
President Donald Trump says he plans to visit the flood zone later this week, while also defending his administration after critics say recent budget cuts to the National Weather Service may have hampered early warnings.
What a situation that all is, and that was really the Biden setup. That was not our setup, but I wouldn't blame Biden for it either. I would just say this is a 100-year catastrophe, and it's just so horrible to watch.
On the ground, FEMA is supporting local relief crews and volunteers. Those efforts continue as search teams keep scouring the Guadalupe River for victims.
The federal government needs to be here for the support and extra resources on the ground as well. And that is what we are doing and what President Trump has dedicated to continue to do.
We're not going to stop today or tomorrow. We will stop when the job is completed.
President Trump says his administration will continue to assist for as long as necessary.
God bless the state of Texas. Incredible place.
Now, the White House already has military assets deployed on Texas's southern border to deal with ongoing immigration issues. It's unclear at this point whether any of those military personnel will be redeployed to other parts of Texas to help with flood recovery. That's the latest here in Washington. We'll send it back to you guys in L.A.
Trevor, thank you for that this morning. It has been 6 months since the Eaton and Palisades fires. Governor Gavin Newsom and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass will highlight progress made in rebuilding at an event later this morning. KTLA's Jennifer McGraw live now in Altadena with that story for us. Jennifer, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, on the 6-month mark, we're talking still struggling. More than half of this town was decimated. People lost their homes, and people who did not lose their homes still can't even move back in because of the toxins inside. Rosanna, you're one included. We're all gathering here today to talk about the struggle that Altadena citizens are facing. This is a tight-knit community made even closer by the struggle you're all going through.
Yes, that is true. We've lost our homes. We've lost everything we know. And for a lot of us, there's still no movement from insurance companies. We're still displaced 6 months later. Our houses, some of them are untouched. Mine is untouched still by any kind of cleanup.
And paying for your own testing because they're not testing for things like lead.
Yes, we had to pay $6,300 to test out of our pocket to test, and we discovered that there are high levels of lead, arsenic, and nickel in our house. And so far, State Farm has said it doesn't require anything special. They actually asked me, "Do you have a cleaning lady?" We are just floored by their lack of support, by their silence, by their constant delay and denial, arbitrary delays and arbitrary denials. They've even gone through the estimate from the people that they sent and redlined things saying things like, we'll clean this wall but not that wall. We'll clean the tops of the doors and the door hardware but not the doors. It doesn't make any sense.
And it's also my understanding that they want to permanently they want to raise the 30%, a hike of that?
Yes. Well, our insurance over the last few years has gone from $2,200 a year to $9,000 this year. And it's been raised 25% since the fire. And I don't know where this is going to end, but we're being priced out of our home. You know, my home, I've lived there for 35 years and never made a claim before. But yeah, we're being driven out of our home by the insurance rates. And then when it comes time for them to take care of us, they won't.
Rosanna, thank you for talking to us. Devastatingly so, this is just one of hundreds and thousands of stories we'll be sure to keep on this for you.
Thank you so much.
I'll send it back to you in Hollywood.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you for bringing us out this morning. Powerful rip currents made for a dangerous holiday weekend at beaches up and down the Southern California coast. On July 4th, lifeguards in Newport Beach made more than 350 rescues as a result of the dangerous surf. 10 swimmers were pulled far from the shore by what's called a dogleg rip current. No serious injuries were reported.
If you don't feel like working today, you've got plenty of company. Not only is it a popular day to call out sick, but your younger coworkers may be taking a so-called quiet vacation.
Well, that's when you take time off without telling your manager. The Harris poll asked more than 1,200 American workers about their work habits. More than half of Gen Z and millennial workers say they have taken the so-called quiet vacation around the 4th of July holiday. That number falls to 35% of Gen X and Boomer employees. Previous study from Fast Company found that the Monday after July 4th is one of the top 5 days to call in sick, no matter what day the 4th falls on.
So the quiet vacation, does that mean that you're calling in sick, or you?
No, you're not calling.
You show up at work and don't do anything.
No, I think.
You just don't go to work.
You're going to go to work, and more than likely you can get away with it because your boss isn't going to be there either.
Can I tell you? Maybe I had a dream last night that I just